we're going to talk about writing our own lives. What do you mean by that with both the writing, the WR, and the RI?
What do I mean by that? I think because I'm a writer,
Yes.
how I put my life down on the page.
Mhm.
And I also think that we can write our lives. We don't have to buy into all the stuff that we've been told or all the stuff we believe, and we get to write all of that. We get to right those wrongs.
Hi, and welcome to Beyond Empty Nest. I'm your host, Jody Silverman, speaker, mentor, and Chief Dare Officer at Moms Who Dare. Every Thursday, I'll share stories of midlife transformation, happiness tips, and dare you to see the opportunities waiting for you so that you can make this next chapter even better than the last. If you're ready to dare, I'm ready to dare with you. Let's get into today's episode.
Hello, everybody. You've heard the term midlife crisis. Well, if you Google it, the definition is an emotional crisis of identity and self-confidence that can occur in early middle age. First of all, early middle age, it's throughout middle age. But in addition, I read that, I said, in addition to the emotional aspect of experiencing midlife, there are so many other issues besides emotional. There's physical issues. There's hot flashes. There's mood swings. There's the emotions and the physical emotions, the physical part of taking care of our aging parents, as well as the emotional side. And there's also a real big one that I wanted to talk about. It's finding ourselves wide awake at 3 a.m. And I believe that on any given day at 3 a.m., I could host a dinner party with my friends. How about you? So some of our best thinking and even dreaming happens at 3 a.m. And as my guest today shares in one of her books, that herself, along with her girlfriends, she did a poll, she wrote about it in the book called Marrying George Clooney, that they all had the same fantasy, that of marrying George Clooney. Amy Ferris is an author, screenwriter, editor, and playwright. Her latest book, Mighty Gorgeous, a little book about messy love, is one of them. And then her memoir, Marrying George Clooney, Confessions from a Midlife Crisis, which debuted theatrically off-Broadway in 2022. And also Ruth Penbaker of the New York Times called her memoir poignant, freewheeling, cranky, and funny. I've read it. It's all of that and more. Amy has also been honored as one of 21 leaders for the 21st century by Women's Inu and named one of the 12 women who changed the world in 2021 by Next Tribe. Amy is a co-founder of the Milford Readers and Writers Festival. There's even so much more about Amy below in our show notes. But today she's joining us. She is gracing us on Beyond Empty Nest for a conversation about midlife, messy love, writing our own lives. And she uses a play on the words there. We're talking about writing, the WRITING and the RIGHTING. So I mean, that's a lot there, right there. We're going to unpack it all. But Amy Ferris, welcome to Beyond Empty Nest.
Thank you so very much. It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah, I love having you here. We met because we're both local to the Philadelphia area. We met up in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, when you did a
Thank you, Jill.
Yeah, thanks to Jill Shower Murray, a former guest on this show. She's a big time friend of Beyond Empty Nest. And you actually shared and read a piece from your latest book, a little book about messy love called Mighty Gorgeous. So we're going to talk about it all. I want to talk about it all. And we're going to do it all in 30 minutes or less. We're so good at this. So sit down, everybody. This is going to be a great, witty conversation. I'm really excited about it. But when you said we're going to talk about writing our own lives. What do you mean by that with both the writing, the WR, and the RI?
What do I mean by that? I think because I'm a writer,
Yes.
how I put my life down on the page.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that we can write our lives. We don't have to buy into all the stuff that we've been told or all the stuff we believe.
I like that. I like that. You actually say turn mistakes into mission.
I do. And I'm a very big proponent of all of that.
Well, and I like that. I like the whole, and the writing is a play on words because you are an amazing writer.
Thank
And
you.
we will link in the show notes how people can find your books and enjoy the writing and get pleasure. I mean, I did everything when I read. I haven't. I look forward to reading the other one too. But when I read Marrying George Clooney, Confessions of a Midlife Crisis, I laughed. I got angry, like, yes, that's true. And in solidarity, I was like standing up, fist pumping, and I cried. It was all those emotions together. But what I like about the turning mistakes into mission is that, look, we all have things that we can look back and say, well, we did it right. We could have done it better. What do you tell somebody who's stuck in that, looking at all of her mistakes that she made and say, no, 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 take this and turn a mistake into your mission?
I think for me, Jody, I dropped out of high school. I
Yes.
never finished the 10th grade.
Wow.
You know, I dropped out of high school. I went to live on a commune, which was like such a weird experience. Um, I screwed up a lot. I made a lot of mistakes.
Okay.
And when my father took me to the airport to put me on a plane to go to Medford, Oregon, to go to a commune.
The fact that he drove you.
Oh, he drove me. Absolutely. He hugged me and he said, I can't make your mistakes for you. And I was 16, 15 and a half, 16, however old I was. I was getting on a plane and I was going across country. And his saying to me, I can't make your mistakes for you, became my mantra.
Love that.
And I am a huge supporter of taking all of the stuff that we've done that we thought was awful or horrible or bad, and I got a whole list alphabetical, and using that so other people don't feel alone. It is really the only reason for me. I don't do it. I kind of feel like everything that I did that was bad and bad for me and bad for others and hurtful, that I get to turn that into very much my mission in helping others and inspiring others and encouraging others. I am a firm believer that every single thing that we have ever done, good, bad, and different, except for a few people, and one is on trial here in New York. I do believe that we all have the ability to do that, to change poison into medicine, to create value, to take things that were really awful and painful and say, you know what, I'm going to use this to inspire someone else, to encourage another human.
I love that. I love that. And I would add, what you're making me think about is something, because I support moms. Believe me when I tell you, there's a lot of things I can go back and say, I wish I had done differently with my children. What mom doesn't? We didn't get a playbook handed to us. Like, here's your baby and here's your playbook. Good luck to you. No, it was just like, here's your baby. Good luck to you.
I don't even think they say good
I
luck.
don't even think they said that either. I looked at them crazy, like I had to put her new clothes on her. Like, how do I dress her? I didn't play with dolls as a kid. I was a tomboy. But I like how you say to use it to help others know that they're not alone. And also, you know what? I look back and that my go-to is what did I learn from this? Like, what could I take away from it? How did it help me get to where I am? Because like I said, everything you did, good, bad, or indifferent, led you to where you are today. You're doing some pretty remarkable things. So look at where you are today. Say, what did I learn? And if you haven't learned yet, ask yourself, what can I learn from that? Like, how did I grow from that? And then I love how you take it and turn it around and share it with somebody else so that they know that they're not alone.
And a part of that too, Jody, as you're talking, the thing that keeps coming up for me is the things that we do that cause us pain or cause others pain, or we're just so messy. It's really because we want to be loved and we want to be seen and we want to be heard. We
Yeah.
want to be validated. It's not, and I have so much empathy for anybody who wants so desperately to be seen in the world and validated. So I think, everything we do is kind of, without sounding cliched, is based in love, whether we want it or we, want to give it, or, it really, we don't do bad things because we're like, so, we do them because we want to be paid attention.
Yeah. Yeah, I would not there. I don't think you get a lot of disagreement on that statement. I think you're right. I mean, really the basic human need is a sense of being loved, seen, heard, belonging, all of that.
And
And
that's what everyone wants.
yeah,
Everyone.
right. So yeah, I love how, and you do, when you talk about turning mistakes into mission, I mean, you walk that walk. I mean, I can only talk about your book. I mean, Marrying George Clooney. I mean, Amy, you share the good, the bad, and the
No, I do share.
this is an oversharing book in a great way.
Thank you so very much.
No, and I mean that because I'm sitting there like, and I'm scared to talk about XYZ, and Amy just shared this in a book. I'm like, yeah, but I think that's what makes it so real, because you read this and that you succeeded in your mission.
Thank you.
There is not a chapter in here that somebody out here is not going to say, oh my God, that is how I felt, that is how I feel. That, I mean, it's just raw and real. And I think that your whole turning mistakes into mission, you've done it and you continue to do it. And I love it.
And I think, you know what? I think if you talk to anybody, and kind of like flip the phrase a bit, everybody's going to say, yeah, I do that. I do that. I went through this and now I get to talk about it. I think it also gives our mistakes and our messes less power, and it gives us more power. Anytime we can transform something to something better, then we're on the plus column. We're in the plus column.
Yeah, I like that. And that's resilience. I mean, we're talking
totally.
It falls under the resilience.
Complete resilience.
Yeah, I talk a lot about resilience, and I know it's a word that's used a lot. But the truth is, life is all about bouncing back, and life is all about learning how to bounce back, taking a few bounces backwards, bouncing forward, bouncing upwards. I mean, but it is, and it's building. And I look at this whole chapter of my life, which started, I'm 50, I'll be 58 this year. But I'm thinking, since I was 45, I have been learning how to bounce back quicker than I used to do the day before or the week before.
I love that.
Yeah, I have been. I don't stay stuck or in a mistake as much. I don't beat myself up as much as I used to as before, but that takes practice. That takes self-compassion.
Yes, and it's also, it's falling in love with yourself.
Yes.
We want people to love us, but we're so afraid of loving our own lives. And I don't know if it's that we're afraid of loving our own lives as much as it is that we just keep seeing the bad that we do.
Yeah. I think we're there is science behind that. We are hardwired for a negativity bias, and we let all the negative things stick to us. There's there's a scientist who coined the phrase, it sticks to us like Velcro, where the positive feelings and the positive experience, just like Teflon right off.
Right.
Yeah. And it's interesting. There was a chapter in your book, and I started out talking about midlife crisis, and a lot of the things that I mentioned in the beginning were about menopause, which for a lot of women really is the biggest event. And we're not even sure it's happening to us. We don't even know. We could be very unaware it's happening to us. That happens during this chapter. I mean, it's one of the biggest ones that can really just knock us off. And one of it, and you talk about self-love, talk about our bodies changing, and you talk about looking in the mirror, and I want to look in the mirror and I want to love what I see. And we so don't do that. We don't do that.
Well, because we grew up on leggy blondes.
So true. So
true. We did. We grew up on like the Christy Brinkley's, or and models and being thin and tall. And, I think a lot of it too is that we're fed all of that, right? We're fed it and we buy it. And if you're insecure and you don't have a lot of confidence and self-esteem is like so out of fucking reach. Ooh, can I say fucking?
Yes, you can say fucking.
Oh, thank fucking God. It's that we just kind of like look at our own lives and think, oh, I'm not perfect. Well, perfection is overrated.
Oh, so it's not even a thing.
It's no, and
It shouldn't even be a thing. It shouldn't even be a goal.
it should, no, I don't think it should ever be a goal. I don't think it should be it like life's goals. There should never be perfection because you'll never be able to live up to it or be that.
No.
And imperfection is sexy and
Yeah.
it's beautiful and it's messy. And I'm just like a champion for messy. I think messy is so underrated and I think it needs to be much more rated. And I think it's what we should be aiming for. And, when I was younger, I was tall and thin. I was a size 4 or 3 at my wedding. And now I'm a good hefty size 10. And and I wear the same schmata every single day, black to white. But the truth is that I feel more powerful in my body. My body is not in great shape. I'm not one of these chicks that gets up and runs 12, miles a day and, watches for steps. But I feel like my body is powerful.
And the journey to get there though, because you didn't always feel that way.
No, and I was, aiming for, the tall thin thing. It's not. It doesn't.
So what would you tell somebody listening? Like somebody's listening, like in my mind, I'm like, well, Amy, how do I get there? How do I love what's happened to this when I was?
You know how I got here, or partially how I got here, because it is a journey. And I don't mean for that to sound like a cliche either. It's really,
no, it is a journey.
It's like going on a trip without a GPS. It's like, oh, I'm getting lost. Now what do I do? Well, you just keep making turns and eventually you end up at a gas station. And people look at you like you're nuts. And you say, okay, but I need to get to Route 80. How far is that?
Right.
And if you're lucky, someone will know.
I like it. It's a good analogy.
Right? And if you're not lucky, then you're just going to say to the guy or the woman who's pumping you and just say, okay, well, where can I get to where there's a highway? I want to get off the back road. I think for me, it took my mother, it took her having dementia.
Mm-hmm.
It took my father dying before that. It took my family unraveling. It took me loving all the wrong men. And then it was like, wow, how did I get here? How did I love all the wrong men? How did I not take care of my own life? Why didn't I take care of my own life? And I think we're conditioned to be pleasers. We're conditioned to make other people happy at our own expense.
Yeah.
We keep forgetting that our lives are invaluable. We keep forgetting that we want people to love us, but they only love us in equal to how we love ourselves.
Wow. Say that was, I love, they only love us equal to how we love ourselves.
Equal to how we love ourselves. Every man that I met before Ken only liked me or loved me in relation to how much I liked or loved myself.
Oh, that's some powerful, that's like.
And that is the truth. And I can look at those men and, living with a guy that was abusive, I abused my own life. Of course I attracted that. And then I met Ken. And it was like, it got to the point where it's like, I just want to be fucking happy.
Yeah.
I was 38. Yes. I was on a movie. I'd written a movie. He was a cameraman, and I was so filled with joy because I had overcome so much and I had finally kind of like awakened to my own beauty. And there was this wonderful human being sitting on a camera all the way up. And he was so sexy and beautiful, but he was joyous.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of felt like our joy met.
I love that.
Our joy met. And, you know, he was the antithesis of every other man I'd ever met, you know. And that was a real moment for me. Not meeting Ken, but understanding that I was bringing into my life the exact match of how I felt about myself.
Wow. That, and you know, that's a powerful, powerful statement. What's even more powerful is being able to be honest with yourself, because you had to look back at all the messy things and say, okay, without judgment though, like what was my role in bringing that into my life?
Well, I mean, right?
Yeah, but not everybody does it, Amy.
No, I know.
There are victims out there that everything is everybody else's fault, every bad relationship. And everybody who follows me knows that I say this all the time. A relationship is between more than one person. So if a relationship works, it's about the two people. And if it fails, it's about the two people. Now, it doesn't mean it's a 50-50 split in why conflict happens or why things don't work out.
Well, look at the world.
Yeah, and only by looking at it honestly, but not to beat yourself up, to really look at it honestly and say, for you to be able to realize like, oh my God, this one matched how I felt about and how I treated myself at this point in my life. This one matched how I treated that one. And I never thought of it that way. And then you said, right before you said you met Ken, you were feeling this moment in your life of joy. And there you met joy. I love that. That's
joy. And
so it starts with loving our own lives, finding a way to love and be happy in our own lives. I mean, it sounds so easy, but it's not.
I know it's not easy. And you know, and it doesn't, you don't change overnight, and it doesn't always, you know, feel that way.
Yeah.
You know, I think the thing that about being human is that, you know, we fall down, we get up. We fall down, we get up. You know, we think that when we're in love, that's, you know, the person we're going to spend the rest of our life with. Well, you know, those rest of my life guys, no idea where they are. But I think that's, you know, it's part of wanting to feel hopeful. It's part of wanting to be loved.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know anybody who doesn't want to be loved.
No.
I just think that most of what we do to get love that's the shit that we have to look at. That's the stuff that we need to look at. It's like, what am I doing to be loved? What am I giving away? What am I, you know, like letting go of? What am I, you know, what possession am I offering up on the altar to say, here, you take the car. You need a car ticket. I'll walk. You know, I mean, we do that. We want so desperately. We're so afraid that someone won't like us. And you know what? The people that we beg and grovel, they never, ever like us.
No, never.
They disappear so fast. It's kind of like you look down and then it's like, wow, they're out of here.
Yeah, no, it's so true.
Too. That's something that I really, really, truly believe. If you have to beg and grovel, then you have to stop for 1 second and say, that person is not going to be in my life.
It's not a right person for you. It's not a right person for you. It has nothing to do with you being defective or not lovable. They're just not a right person for you.
No.
Not everybody's a right person for you. I love that.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true.
So I want you to share a little bit with me and with the audience about Mighty Gorgeous, a little book about messy love. How did that come to be? And I mean, there's probably a million messages in it, but as we're talking about loving our own lives right now, we're talking about, you know, the basic want and desire of everyone is to be loved. So tell us a little bit about the book, why you wrote it, and is there one message from the book that's coming to mind that you would want to share with the audience?
I think, well, the reason I wrote it was because I I'm not a big social media person, but I am a big presence on Facebook. I don't do Instagram. I'm not on TikTok or whatever it's called. But Facebook is easy for me. It's like I get to write something and then just kind of disappear. And I started writing, I don't know, maybe 12 years ago with marrying George Clooney, a post every day called Post Coffee Pre Wine. And every single day I posted something. And it was really, I did it so that people could get out of bed. I would share all of this stuff that I was going through and I would post it. And, all of a sudden I had like thousands of friends and thousands of followers and more than, more people than I could ever fit in, but there were pieces that I wrote that people would say years later, can you find that piece you wrote that really helped me? Or can you repost it? And so in my conversation with Brooke Warner, who's the publisher of She Writes and one of the best women on the planet, she said, why don't you put together a book of new things that you're writing and have it be like, sections of love and work and mistakes and all kinds of in family and so that's what I did. I culled some of those pieces and wrote a bunch of new pieces and created this little book.
Hold it up for everybody who wants it. If you're not watching us on video, come watch it. It's called Mighty Gorgeous, a little book about messy love.
Yay.
Love
It's,
it.
it
love
is. It's so wonderful. It's such a wonderful book. It really is. I'm so proud of it.
You're helping so many people, Amy, because you are the definition of vulnerable, of turning mistakes into mission, of having people feel seen, heard, understood. I mean, there isn't there, and I'm sure it's the same as your newest book, Mighty Gorgeous. And by the way, it arrived, it's sitting on my bookshelf. But it's the same as this book. I mean, get both. I mean, I would tell everybody to get both books because
Yes, please go.
there's not a chapter that I didn't nod my head, I didn't cry, I didn't laugh about, that I felt throughout this book. So you see yourself in every page of your books, and I can't imagine that we're not going to see ourselves in every page of Mighty Gorgeous. And I'm so happy that I met you. And I'm so happy that I heard you did read a beautiful excerpt from that book the night we met in Doylestown. And it was it was like a love letter to Ken, right?
It was.
Love letter to Ken. I remember. I know.
Love letter to Ken.
You have Ken, I have Sam. We're very lucky women. I have a Sam. I have a Sam who sees me more beautiful when I need to be seen beautiful. And it helps. It does help. So
it does. It helps tremendously.
Yeah. But I love everything you do through your writing. You are just bringing really important stories and feelings that so many of us feel out there to the surface, and you're making it okay to embrace our mistakes and embrace our messiness and embrace the hard and turning it into something that's okay. You're making that okay. And I don't know if that was proper grammar, but that's what I said.
You're so adorable. I just think that we're so afraid of being ourselves. And the word authentic is something I kind of feel like that's just overplayed, but I think that we're just so afraid to be who we are in the world. Mm-hmm. Really, it's whether we're, struggling, whether it's emotional or financial or sexually or in any way, because there's always somebody out there reminding us that being ourselves isn't good. Mm. It's kind of like we run back into the closet, whatever closet we're in, whether it's, sexually or in any way, creatively, emotionally, and it's because they're filled with fear. And they just want us to feel like we're not okay. And we are okay. We're more than okay.
We're okay just the way we are.
You know, and I just think that we should all be doing the things that we've craved to do.
Yeah. I mean, I could go on for an hour right on this topic about how I've learned to not, to not doubt like who I am and say, ooh, but look at what she's doing. I could do that, but do I want to do that? Like, that's not really who I am. This is who I am. I had to embrace a lot, and it's happened in the last 5 years, talking about like just being who I am, and I'm okay with who I am, meaning I keep things real simple, to the point. I am not a writer. I am a talker, and that's okay.
It's
Like,
more than okay.
and that's okay. And I like to keep things simple. Can I deep dive into things? Absolutely. Do I always want to? Oh, hell no. So, you're hitting a big topic for me about just being okay with you, loving yourself and loving your life. And that starts with really, it starts with back at the beginning, recognizing who you are is by turning all those things that you're holding on to, the mistakes, the shame, the guilt, and turning that into a place that it's made me who I am today. It's okay. It's okay.
More than okay. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the whole thing. It's, everything and I wrote about it because the book opens up with, what would I tell my younger self? And that came off of Brooke saying, okay, I know that you would be saying something totally different than what the new age, yeah, I would tell myself not to date Joe. No, I wouldn't. I would tell myself, date him, let him hurt you. Because that's going to get you to somebody, I'm a firm believer that all of that, everything that I've done in my life, everything from being the rebellious young girl to really screwing up, to going to live on a commune, to hitchhiking back across country, to getting a job, to finally getting my GED. I mean, I never went to college. But I experienced life the way that I needed to, the way that a lot of people would say, wow, you really screwed up. But to me, I felt like I was following my own internal map and I was going where I needed to go. And all of that, all of that, all of the messes that I left and all of the crazy people that I was Velcroed to and all the things that I did because I wanted to be noticed or seen or loved, all the things that I gave away, including my body, I would never tell my younger self not to do that because then I wouldn't be who I am. And I think that that's something too that we're so convinced that if we did things differently, our lives would be different. No. But why would we want our lives to be different? I could see somebody saying, well, I wish I had taken that job. I would feel more, being financially secure is huge. I'm never going to make fun of that because I struggle financially with all of that stuff too. But I just wish that, we can all accept the journeys that we've taken because they make us pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah, they do. Turn it into, to use yours and my favorite word, to turn it into a fucking mission.
Into a mission.
And I want you to know that that is my favorite word, by the way. And I never have used it on an episode until you, and I knew we were going to use it and I was happy to do it. Yes, my family tells me all the time, it's enough with the F word, Jody. I'm like, whatever. But,
nobody has ever said that to me. Now, when anybody sees me, it's Amy fucking Ferris.
There you go. I love it.
But
so I love that. I love what would you tell I know. I mean, I think the best advice you could tell your younger self, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You're going to just give her encouragement. You're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It might hurt. It might feel weird. It might, but you're going to be okay. And I love that as the parting gift to people is, really look at where you are. And if you are in a place where, you are in midlife and you're not really thrilled with where you find yourself because life does hit. All right, well, start from here. Start here. Meet yourself where you need to meet yourself. Meet yourself right where you are and start by just look in the mirror and tell yourself you're going to be okay and I love you and who can you turn to for help and support?
Yes. And the other thing too is, when we're young, we always say, when I grow up, I want to be.
Right.
Well, I became the very woman that I wanted to be when I was a little girl, but I didn't know that. I mean, when I grow up, I want to be.
Yeah.
Well, I became that woman. And through a lot of craziness.
So, Amy.
Yes.
We have to leave the audience with a dare. It feels like the right time to drop a dare.
Okay.
The audience, do you have something that's come to mind that we want to dare our audience to do for themselves?
Yes. I want them to, I dare you to take out a dream out of the drawer or out of the closet or a dream that you hid away, shake it out and try it on again. That's what I dare you. I dare you to go after a dream that you put away.
And you spoke it just like a beautiful writer would. Take out a dream you've hidden away, shake it out and try it on again. I love that dare. I love how you phrased it. And I love that you joined me today on Beyond.
Oh, I am so thrilled that we got here.
And you have not one, but two books that both will impact your life in such a positive way. And you're going to go grab them both. We're going to link both of the books into the show notes. The most recent one is called Mighty Gorgeous, a little book about messy love. And then you have your memoir, Marrying George Clooney. I love Confessions from a Midlife Crisis. Great title, great book. And my audience knows what's coming next. What was it from this conversation that lit something inside of you that had you say, oh my gosh, that's right, or a light bulb moment? There's my mission for every single person that I sit in this Zoom room with for Beyond Empty Nest is for one person to gain one bit of insight or aha moment. And I know that every single episode has one in it. So what was it for you with the conversation with Amy today? Let us know. Shoot me a message. Leave us a comment. If you don't want to write a review, people get scared about it, just leave a comment. Don't forget the review work. Just give us 5 stars for sure, but leave a comment and let us know what it was for you that you walked away from. Embark on the dare. We want to hear how that goes for you.
Absolutely.
Yes, please let us know. As you know, both Amy and I are both on Facebook. I'm a big Facebook fan too. So you know where to find us. All links are below. Next week will be another brand new episode of Beyond Empty Nest. And as I always say, everybody, dare on. Thank you for listening to this episode of Beyond Empty Nest. For detailed show notes and more information, be sure to visit jodysilverman.com. Have you heard of the Double Dares? Well, we're a community of moms and midlife women blending virtual and in-person interactions for connection, support, and exciting experiences. From Mommy and Me classes to soccer sidelines, moms have always found strength in community. And as we navigate the empty nest and other midlife transitions, having that go-to safe space and other women to lean on is a must. Ladies, this is not the chapter to do it alone. Our drama-free group echoes the sentiment of the Cheers theme song, a place where everybody knows your name and our troubles are all the same. If you've been seeking connection and have a desire to figure out who you are and what your purpose is now, then Moms Who Double Dare is the perfect fit for you. Only through the link in our show notes below can you explore and enjoy the first month at half off. Plus, with no contracts, there's zero risk involved. Join us today and get started on your journey of self-discovery, surrounded by new friends who understand and get you. You've sent your kids off to brave new experiences, meet new people, and discover who they get to be. Now, it's your turn. It's your turn to embrace this new adventure. If you're ready to dare on, I'm here to lead the way. Let's embark on this exciting journey together. Click the link below, and as I always say, dare on.